Hey everybody, it's Dave from Real SMM. I want to talk to you today about the 3 biggest mistakes, in my opinion, that realtors make when using or misusing social media. 3 biggest mistakes that realtors make when using or misusing social media. Mistake number 1, the echo chamber. Wasting too much time on sites like Active Rain, which has 146,000 some odd members that sell real estate for a living. Now, do you see where I'm going here? I think it's a great site. Don't get me wrong. I think you can learn a lot as a realtor, as a real estate professional. You can learn a ton from a site like Active Rain. But the problem with that site is you're talking amongst yourselves. You're not positioning yourself. If you're spending 15, 30, 45 minutes a day on Active Rain, that's 15, 30, 45 minutes a day you could be spending on another social media site that will position you properly in front of the buying public. The buying public. That's who you want to concern yourself with, not other realtors, not what other realtors think about you. You're not trying to sell anything to other realtors. You're trying to sell a house to the buying public. So mistake number 1 is spending too much time in the echo chamber. Don't do it. Mistake number 2 is a pretty big one, and it's one that we talk about a lot in our Real SMM guidebook. Consistent username throughout all the social media networks. Now, mine's pretty easy. Dave Vandewally, well, that's a pretty easy name to have consistently throughout the networks. If you're Tom Jones, it's a little different. But one mistake we've seen people have is not being consistent in their branding. Now, while we will say to go get your username as your name and to use the 2 one and the same because people buy from you, they don't buy from your company name in real estate. They want to know who you are and that you will go to bat for them. That's a whole other thing we can talk about later. Being consistent when you do this is the thing that makes the most sense. So if you're John Smith, realtor, because obviously John Smith is too simple a name, too common a name for everybody to be able to get it. John Smith, realtor on one site, and then John Smith, your real estate connection on another site. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Just be consistent. Consistent username. Don't get into brand blur. If you use it on one site, use it on all of them. Mistake number 3. We talk about the grand slam of social media marketing as Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. I want to focus on that 4th one right there because it's kind of misused by a lot of people in a lot of industries, but realtors are among the worst when it comes to using LinkedIn. Why? How? Why? What am I saying? What? LinkedIn is a business networking tool. LinkedIn is not a sell my house today tool. That's a mistake that's common on a lot of the social networks when it comes to realtors. But LinkedIn is the one where we've seen this the most often. Started to watch this trend back in May, and it's only gotten worse. Realtors will join LinkedIn and say, hey, here's an audience of millions of people. Why don't I share my new listing here? The problem is that your buying public is not on this site to look for listings. They're on this site to look for information about people they might want to work with. Not for, what the latest listing is in Omaha. LinkedIn is a business referral, business connection, business networking tool that people use most often to find out what is being said by and about someone. So they're going to learn on LinkedIn that you've been recommended by people that you've worked with in the past, or that you recommend other people that you've worked in the past. They're not there to buy a house from you yet. So keep these things in mind when you're out there on the social media sphere, building your presence. Stay away from the echo chamber. Be consistent in your username. Don't misuse LinkedIn. If you avoid those 3 mistakes, you're going to be well on your way to a dynamite social media presence. and then to selling some houses using social media.